In Atchison, Kansas, there is a seemingly normal house. One that if you were to walk past it, you would probably take no notice to it. It wouldn't stop you in your tracks. You'd be pretty much completely unaware of the patient way in which it rests. It's not isolated, it's not decaying, it's just sitting, quietly, with something inside that will probably notice you long before you notice it. But what if this house is part of something bigger? My name is Hatter, along with,
Scoot.
And Cass.
and welcome to Investigation.
Can we do like special guest star, because that went crazy as soon
was
as
going
you
crazy
started
as you were talking.
narrating. Like,
Yeah.
Really?
It went up to red a couple
went up to the
times.
red.
And apparently we have a little special guest today, the ghost of the pod. We have an EMF reader sitting in the middle of the table, and it's not near any electronics, just, I know you guys can't see, but you'll have to believe me. And it's just been spiking all the way up to red randomly, and apparently as soon as I talked. So,
Yeah, I
special
guess-
guest star of the spooky ghost. Well, today I do have a roller coaster of an episode for you guys. And I'm going to be jumping around a little bit. I'm going to touch on a few different things. But I promise you, it all does come together.
It all comes together.
It all comes together. This is going to be a two-parter.
Ooh.
So, for those listening, the second part will drop on Wednesday. We're not going to make you wait an entire week for it. But my co-hosts here are probably going to get spoiled because they'll hear the full story today.
Ooh.
Yay, special.
Now, we have all heard of homes where people hear footsteps and doors open, and some spooky, unforeseen presence will give you, just the spook, basically. But otherwise, they seem like they're kind of just trying to make themselves known, and it's not always something negative, right? But then there's houses like this one, where something unseen has been known to leave physical marks on people. Literal scratches. Like long, deliberate, burning across their back, stomach, chest type of scratches.
Ooh. I don't like that.
No, you don't
Mhm.
like that at all.
They will often appear without warning. Sometimes this happens when the person is sleeping, and other times it's when they are fully awake. Now, the people who experience this would often describe it as feeling that it wasn't random, but as if the spirit was targeting them. And this is where we're going to start the crazy tale of the Sally House. Now, there are many houses when you talk about homes with dark history or the paranormal. People immediately think about, like, the Winchester Mystery House, Lizzie Borden's home, the Villisca Axe murders. But one of the most well-known ones, I would say, is probably the Sally House. Now, Sally is found in Atchison, Kansas. But Atchison, Kansas doesn't really serve as just the backdrop. It is an integral part to something bigger in this, like, mind twist of a story that I'm going to give you guys. So, first off, a little history, as always. Atchison is known as being the birthplace of Amelia Earhart.
Oh, that's actually a little
Yeah.
tidbit I didn't know.
Which is cool. Obviously, we all know that she kind of vanished without a trace. And although this does seem like just a small, fun fact, we will make a circle back to it.
Ooh.
Now, Atchison was founded in 1854 during one of the most violent and unstable periods in American history. This time, specifically in Kansas, came to be known as Bleeding Kansas. It was the name given to basically what was a small civil war in the U.S., fought between pro-slavery and anti-slavery advocates for control of the new territory of Kansas. This small civil war was fueled when the sacking of Lawrence occurred on May 21st, 1856. This is when a pro-slavery mob swarmed into the town of Lawrence and wrecked and burned the hotel in an effort to wipe out the quote-unquote a hotbed of abolitionism. Then, the day after the attack on Lawrence, U.S. Senator Charles Sumner of Massachusetts was viciously beaten with a cane by U.S. Representative Preston S. Brooks of South Carolina. Now, this was in response to Sumner's address regarding the crime against Kansas committed by supporters of slavery. So basically, he was like, I'm just going to wreck your shit with my cane because you're giving a passionate address of the crimes that are happening in the state. You can already see that this was obviously not a peaceful expansion westward, but it was actually like armed groups, raids, periodic bloodshed along the border followed as the two factions fought battles back and forth. They tried to capture towns, they would set prisoners free, and not all of those deaths were recorded. In fact, most of the records during Atchison's growth were kept sporadically at best. Historians acknowledge that during this period, especially in smaller or rapidly developing towns, records were often incomplete. Atchison Historical Society even noted that certain local legends persist despite lacking verifiable evidence, which brings us right back to Sally. Now, the story goes that Sally House was built in 1867 and 1871 by Michael Finney. And after Michael passed away in the home in 1872, his son, Dr. Charles Finney, took over the home as his medical practice. Him and his family supposedly lived upstairs, and then the front area of the home seemed to have acted as his medical office. Although it is noted in some sources that the layout of the home wouldn't have really supported this. But anyways. So one day it is said that there was a pounding on his door, and when he opened it up, he saw Sally and her mother. Sally, who was 6 years old, had collapsed from extreme pain through her abdomen. After bringing Sally into the home, he placed her on a bed and gave her anesthesia, but believing that her appendix was about to rupture, he began surgery before the anesthesia had any time to act.
Ow.
So, yeah.
Yikes.
That's not good.
No. You can imagine the horror that ensued as a fully conscious 6-year-old was cut open for surgery.
Oh.
Leading to intense pain and her bleeding out on the table.
Ow.
Well, given the circumstances.
Well, yeah.
Sally dies, terrified, in unimaginable pain and in fear, leading to the house being haunted by Sally, quote-unquote, a man-hating ghost, due to the fact that it was a male doctor was the last face she had ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Yes. However, when researchers look deeper, there are no records or documents of any kind, not even a verified identity for a child named Sally that's tied to its location. Yeah. And it's even rumored that the mayor made up the story to bring attraction to the town, even though that has no proof currently, at least.
Yeah.
So this kind of raises the question, right? Like, if Sally never existed, then what are people interacting with?
What's there at the house?
What's scratching them? Yeah, what's there? Well, there's a lot of people who believe that the haunting came first. A not-so-innocent spirit haunting the home under the guise of a child named Sally.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Then, after this, kind of people started attributing the story of the little girl named Sally to kind of give an explanation to what they are experiencing in the home. In 1993, Tony and Deborah Pickman moved into the home. They were newly married, starting their lives together, and looking for a place that they could call home and to raise their soon-to-be expected son. And at first, they got it. Then, things kind of took a turn, as you would expect a spooky story to do. Light bulbs started to go out, timers would turn on by themselves, their phones would cut out, then suddenly start working again. But it's an old house, so they explained it away as faulty wiring. The one thing that they always, struggled with explaining away was the fact that their dog would bark and growl at the currently empty nursery. Which is strange, but, maybe it's the pup getting used to the old house. Alright. Yeah, I made the same face, Scoot.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
I'm a believer that animals
For
can
sure.
sense things or see things that we cannot.
Mm-hmm.
So if an animal is behaving negatively towards something, whether that's a room or if you happen to be walking and down a trail or something, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
There's something there.
Whenever I'm walking Lilith, which I don't know if I've said her name before, but she's my dog, if I start feeling spooked, I'm watching her like a hawk. Because I'm like, as soon as she's like looking around, I'm like, we're going home. We're done.
Yep, we're done here.
Especially because we live in the Appalachian Mountains.
Yep.
Got some
Yeah.
spooky shit in this bitch. Anyway.
Especially the higher up you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think our little ghost friend may be in there too.
Oh, he's back. Hello.
Yeah, well, he was back a little before that too when you were talking about the Appalachian Mountains. It was going up like...
Did you live in the Appalachian Mountains? Oh, you don't want to talk because I'm talking to you? Okay.
I think he still kind of confirmed it because when I said he came back when we were saying we lived there and stuff, that's when it went up to the red.
Okay.
Now, after their son was born, there were several instances of them going into the nursery to find that all of the stuffed animals which had been previously placed on a chair were in a pile on the floor. And after this happened a few times, they reached out to Larry, Tony's brother, to come over and, I guess, try to figure out what was going on in some way. However, when Larry first got there, nothing really happened. So they thought that maybe they were in the clear. I don't know, maybe it was the wind, even though the windows weren't open, like, just trying to rationalize it, whatever. But after once again checking the nursery to see that nothing had changed, they went back downstairs to find that one of the teddy bears downstairs was now facing a different direction.
Ew.
Yeah. So, Larry reached out to a psychic he knew in California named Barbara. She was able to offer some small bits of information over the phone, such as that there was a ghost in the house, that it was between 5 and 13 years old, and this is where we get the name Sally. The psychic said her name is Sally. At the same time that Larry was talking to the psychic, Tony's mom had reached out to the previous owners of the home. And the woman said that they had never really had any issues when her family lived there other than unexplained smells, like really sour smells. But she also said every once in a while she would yell at her kids for leaving their toys out, and the kids always claimed that it wasn't them leaving the toys out, that it was Sally.
Oh!
Yes, so now we have, like, in parallel to each other, people confirming that the spirit's name is Sally.
Someone named Sally.
Yes. After the psychic claimed that Sally was a friendly ghost, the Pickmans did settle down a little bit. However, when George, Tony's other brother, came over, George suggested taking a photo with the notorious teddy bear that had spun around. As Tony pressed the camera button, George is stated as seeing the bear turn around on its own. As they ran to tell Deborah about what just happened, George suddenly felt like he couldn't move any of his muscles and he was completely frozen in place by an unseen force. This did prompt the family to grab the baby and leave. However, as Tony buckled the baby into the car, he felt a pain in his back. Once they were able to inspect it, there were 3 deep scratches that had drawn blood. Now, this was seen by the entire family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
don't like that.
I don't either.
Now, the psychic explained this happening as Sally was in fact friendly, however, she panicked when she saw them leaving, and so she basically tried to, like, reach out to Tony and ended up scratching him. Kind of weird, but, This did actually prompt Deborah to take a maternal look to Sally. She thought that it was just a little girl who needed a mom kind of vibe. But Tony was not about that life, and he would actually enter into his own personal hell. He would start hearing whispers around the house, in some cases the voices getting so loud that they would be talking over each other and Tony could not understand what any of them were saying. He'd hear scratches from inside the walls. He started to feel like something was nibbling at his toes at night.
Oh.
Oh.
Which I fucking hate that idea.
That's pretty...
Yeah. Now, one night, while they and a few friends were sitting at the table, Tony's forehead had begun to bleed, and there was a deep scratch etched into his forehead. He also began having dreams where he was dragged out of bed only to wake up in a cold sweat and blisters around his wrist in the shape of small fingerprints,
Ew.
Oh.
which I hate. Deborah at one point heard one of the toys in the baby's room suddenly play a loud, not human-like static that even hurt her ears to listen to. And the part that I think kind of freaks me out the most is that candles would start to light themselves on fire, and soon other things like the oil lamp and even one of the teddy bears lit on fire.
Oh, that's
Oh.
really spook.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I
no.
hate that. After reports of the home started to spread, investigators arrived, cameras, psychics, just, different types of teams. Some said it was a child, others said no. At this point, I believe they had said that there was either like 2 or 3 spirits in the home, but like one of them was like an older woman. But Tony was even scratched right in front of one of the camera crews that were there. And after 11 attacks had hit Tony that same night with that same camera crew, the camera crew noted a carving of MC on his back with the scratches.
Whoa.
Huh.
And those are the initials of the original homeowner.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. As things continued to escalate, Tony found himself having episodes where he would black out, coming to at one point and trigger warning for animal cruelty, to find that he had killed a stray cat that wandered into the home with a knife.
Oh.
And he is stated as saying that the voices then told him to stab his wife next.
Oh, we're getting into some like Amity horror type
Ye-
crap.
Yeah, like what you see in horror movies.
Eventually, the couple did move out, which was good.
Yeah, I'd say I would have moved out as soon as that scratching stuff happened.
Yeah. Now, I didn't, dive super, super deep into the Sally house because, one, like I said, I'm touching on a couple different things. But two, a lot of people have covered it, so I didn't want to, recap the same story that everybody else has already heard. But I figured you guys didn't really know what it was, so, and, I didn't know what it was before I heard it the first time. So there's a little bit of an overview of what happened at the Sally home.
Yeah, it's like I never actually even heard of that place until you just brought it up that you were doing it today.
Huh.
Yeah, nothing.
Now, cases documented in programs like Unsolved Mysteries have shown entities presenting as children while behaving in ways that are not childlike at all.
More sinister.
More sinister, exactly.
Mhm.
Often beginning kind of harmless and then escalate to being aggressive and violent. So, right now it's kind of like maybe the entity isn't a child, but is something else entirely. And that's kind of where the Sally House story ends.
Oh?
And that's where most people usually do end it. But I'm not most people.
Oh, see, yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yes. Because there's something about the Sally House that doesn't necessarily feel contained. In Atchison itself, beyond the Sally House, there's the McIntire Villa. It's either McIntire or McIntire. I saw both on Google. Which is a home built in Atchison. In it, there have been 9 documented deaths. McIntire, the builder of the home, his first wife, Alice, died in 1891. He married his second wife, Anna, in 1895, and then John McIntire died in 1902. Anna continued to live in the house until her death in 1916. From 1916 to 1925, Anna's brother, a prominent lawyer, Charles, lived there with his family. He shot himself in the head with a .22 caliber. He was 34 at the time of his suicide in 1922. Between 1924 and 1952, the building was run basically as a boarding house. Then, in 1952, the building was bought by Miss Isabel Goldie Altis, and shortly before her death, she sold the home, but she was found dead in a chair near the fireplace by her neighbor.
Oh.
Yeah, her physician said that she had been dead probably for 24 hours and that she had died from natural causes. But like I said, 9 deaths in the home, which isn't crazy, except if you kind of think of this was from 1891 to only 1969, which is typically the lifespan of one person,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like, and then 9 people died in the home? Like, that is kind of a lot. That's, like, a little crazy.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. Here, there have been lots of reports of shadow figures, unexplained movement, and intelligent responses on paranormal equipment. But there's also the Amelia Earhart Birthplace Museum. Now, at this museum, staff and visitors have reported footsteps in empty rooms, objects shifting, feeling of a presence without a visible cause. So once again, overall, just a spooky place, right in Atchison. So now I'm going to jump again. I'm going to take you guys over to the small town of Stull, Kansas, which is home to one of the most infamous locations in American paranormal lore, the Stull Cemetery. Established in the mid-1800s, it served a small rural community, and most of its graves belonged to like early settlers and families from the area. Stull Cemetery sits next to an abandoned stone church. In fact, there's not much left of Stull in general. Like a few houses, there is a newer church, and about 20 residents. Stull Cemetery's stone church partially collapsed, and it was eventually demolished in the early 2000s. But these ruins would serve as being central to the darker legends surrounding the cemetery. It is reported that a staircase inside the ruins allegedly leads to somewhere else. And that's kind of all it says.
I was about to say, what does that mean?
They don't give anything else?
Just somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm assuming like
okay.
another dimension kind of vibe.
All right.
People do often hear unusual acoustic echoes. Visitors will report feeling disoriented or just off inside of the old church. Now, in November 1974, an article appeared in the University of Kansas student newspaper that spoke of a number of strange occurrences in the Stull churchyard. According to the article, Stull was, quote, haunted by legends of diabolical and supernatural happenings. And it is said that the cemetery was one of 2 places on Earth where the devil will appear in person 2 times each year.
Oh?
Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One person claimed to have been grabbed on the arm by something unseen, while others spoke of unexplained memory loss while visiting. And a lot of these claims are considered folklore especially to the current Stull residents, as they have claimed to never experience the legend of the devil appearing in person.
Mm-hmm.
But the psychological experiences reported by visitors are consistent. Everybody kind of reports that they experience the same type of overwhelming dread, disorientation, fear, and the sense of being watched. So now I'm going to jump again. We're going to take you over to Concordia, Kansas, and the Brown Grand Theatre.
Oh?
Yeah.
I always loved the theater.
Are you British now?
I love the theatre.
I purposely did that, okay? That's because, how a lot of people say it. The little niche that people, the niche of how you say it.
Now, the Brown Grand Theatre was built to impress. It opened in 1907 as a full-scale opera house.
Fancy.
Fancy, yeah. Charade.
See, when it's that fancy,
Call back to
it
season
has
3.
to be the British. Yeah.
Now, it was designed to try to, bring big city culture to the rural Kansas.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Mhm,
it hosted, real touring performers, traveling theater companies, musicians, and performers would pass through regularly. But the lore of it does center around Earl Brown, the son of the founder. He either helped to build or manage the theater, but it is said that he had died relatively young after its opening, and many believe that his presence never left. Reports there include apparitions, voices, sudden temperature drops, and overall lots of paranormal equipment going off.
Okay.
Now I know what you're thinking. how the hell do all of these things relate to one another?
I was going to ask you, how is all of this connected?
Yeah, I wasn't really fully gonna ask because I was expecting you to.
No, I was
say
going
it
to
at the
ask. I knew
end.
you were going to connect. I'm still going to ask, though.
Well, okay, hear me out. Because the more you look into this, the more accounts you read, the more investigations you look at, you see a pattern.
Enlighten us.
And enlighten us.
Yes, please share your knowledge.
Bestow
Yeah,
thy
I
knowledge.
was literally just, but I couldn't think of it for a minute, and then I did, and I was literally gonna say it, and then you started saying it.
Bestow thy
your-
knowledge upon us.
Yes.
So, there's a pattern, right? So, like, not far from Atchison and the Sally house is a cemetery that people avoid, not because of what they see, but kind of what they feel. Same thing with the theater. There's, like, shadows on the stage, and people feel a presence. There are homes, something begins small, but turns into something else.
Yeah.
Different locations, different histories. But what if it is connected? I present to you
Ooh.
the Kansas Triangle Theory.
Oh.
And I'm going to send you a picture.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh.
Is this a new theory? Or is this...
Oh. Oh, the ghost is interested.
He said, let me hear your theory.
Right? Like, I want to know your theory.
Now, I kind of am torn on that. So when I type in Kansas Triangle Theory, it talks about a different location. So, like, but I have heard other people talk about it. So there's no, like, I guess, recognized theory for this area. But I'm kind of presenting it. You know what I mean?
All right.
Picture
Yeah,
time.
Right. Picture time. Oh. Yeah, no, I'm seeing it. Like, it's literally like a triangle, like the Bermuda Triangle, but on land.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I
what...
think the ghost agrees.
He's like, you're onto something.
Right?
So what
Thank
is
you.
the theory behind
Oh, yes. We want to know.
the triangle?
So, like we said, the three main points, technically, the Sally House, the Stull Cemetery, the Brown Grand Theatre. Now, so for our listeners, Atchison to Stull would make up the southwest line. Stull to Concordia makes up the northwest line. Now, Concordia to Atchison would make up the east line. This creates a slightly tilted triangle across northern Kansas between a handful of towns. And if you draw a line between these three locations, you have a triangle.
Mm.
So in paranormal research, there is a concept known as a cluster. And this kind of comes in two ways. So there's like a paranormal cluster that represents as an amalgamation of ghosts or spirits that form into one entity, which can be called a cluster.
Okay.
Or it can also be a geographical area where multiple unexplained phenomena occur within a relatively close proximity. Now, weird and unexplainable things, I mean, that does happen everywhere. However, these main points serve as just the border for more. So it's not just like these like 3 points and you're like, what does that have to do to anything? Because I get into it more, but it's kind of like a supernatural beacon or like supernatural geographical portal, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
So my question right now, really,
I think the ghostie's opinion is geographical portal.
the geographical portal.
Yeah, it's going on.
Yeah, it went off like to the red when you said that.
That makes the
and
most
it's still,
sense
It's
for
still
me.
going.
Which kind of brings up the question, though, like, why fucking Kansas? You know?
Of all places, why
Of all
Kansas?
places. Some researchers, both formal and informal, have proposed the idea that certain geographic areas act like focal points, not necessarily because of what is built there, but usually what lies underneath. Things like geological anomalies, magnetic fields, environmental conditions. This can even be seen in Sedona, Arizona, and areas where there is a concentration of paranormal phenomena. Dun, 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 dun.
Phenomena.
Now, the premise is that the vortex area is a location of like exceptional quote unquote energy drawn from the earth. Some equate it to areas where, quote, known laws of physics don't apply, end quote. or where the connection to the spirit world or in other dimensions can be accessed. Now, while this can't be measured scientifically, it's often measured by human feelings or interpretation of observations. In 1968, Ivan T. Sanderson, a popular and influential writer about mysterious phenomena, proposed the idea that there were 12 tilted oval areas located equidistantly around the globe, 10 of which were along latitudes north and south of the equator, and an additional 2 at the poles. Originally labeled as areas of collected anomalies, Sanderson called these 12 spots the vile vortices. The reason Sanderson mapped these out was based on his research into unexplained plane and ship disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle.
Ah!
Which is in the Atlantic and the Devil's Sea area in the Pacific. Both areas fell along the 36-degree north latitude line. Now, his theory did prove to have some, critical errors that surfaced immediately. First, the locations on the map didn't always line up with the anomalies to help define them. For instance, ships going down just outside of the circle that he had marked out.
Our ghostie's really liking this story. That thing's going crazy the whole time.
Try to turn it, just to make sure it's not picking up,
For some
something.
weird thing.
Nope.
Oh.
It's going crazy still.
Rotate it again. Point towards me.
Yeah, point because it's been pointing towards mostly me, my side.
Oh.
Nope. Okay. He just
He really likes the story, yep.
He's probably get on with it. I'm listening. Now, the locations of these vile vortices eventually meandered and became less exact as well. Sanderson even admitted that the effect in the Bermuda Triangle, his key feature, was weak because many planes and ships passed through it daily without any incident. There's also the theory, however, of ley lines. Ley lines which create a pinnacle of energy when 2 of them overlap, making a node.
Yeah, I've heard of the theory of, ley lines.
Yeah, it's not, scientifically measurable in any way. Ley lines aren't scientifically real. But that's kind of where I, am in the middle, because really nothing paranormal can be measured by our current science. So it's how can you really just be that doesn't exist because we can't tell? And it's well, yeah, but 300 years ago, we didn't have electricity, so...
Yeah.
So, once again, if the Sally House is one point, the Stull Cemetery is the other, Brown Grand Theatre serves as the last point, then what's at the center, right? You might be asking yourself, but I'm not telling you yet.
What? That's not fair.
First, we're gonna go down.
Dude, you can't just tell us that and then not give us the answer.
How dare you?
First, we're going to go downward.
Okay.
We're going to go under the surface. So like I just said, that some people think these things happen because of geographical anomalies. Well, just below Kansas is one of the major tectonic features of North America. It's the Mid-Continent Rift System. This rift system is 1.1 billion years old and 1,800-mile long failed rift system. So basically, it's when the continent started to split apart, but then didn't, or couldn't finish in some way.
Oh.
And it stretches from Lake Superior to Kansas. That is the other picture I sent to you guys.
Okay, that makes a little more sense now.
Yeah. So this rift was first reported in Kansas by Woolyard in 1943. As a result of his transcontinental gravity profile, that's a big word for Elmo, and was later to be known as the Mid-Continent Gravity High. Subsequent aeromagnetic investigations showed a correlative magnetic anomaly, and the feature was renamed the Mid-Continent Geophysical Anomaly. Basically, it's a major gravity and magnetic anomaly which resides right below the Brown Grand Hotel.
Oh.
Yeah.
My pieces are coming together now, guys.
So, we were just talking about how it's probably some geographical anomaly, and I was like, all right, geographical anomalies in Kansas, because it's maybe they're going to be like, there is none. Like, you're crazy. You're making this up. No. There is a 1 billion year old high magnetic and gravity geographical anomaly. So it sits right below, and technically just above, this northeastern triangle, which would make up the Kansas Triangle.
Oh.
But yeah, part of it, if you look at the picture that I sent.
Yeah.
So, you see where Kansas is down in the bottom left corner?
Yes.
That little, like, panhandle shape?
Yes.
The Brown Hotel sits right in the middle of that.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, and that dotted line that's right above that is a reflection profile.
What does that mean?
So, this reflection profile refers to, like, a deep asymmetrical, basically, line filled with volcanic and sedimentary rock that creates a high, strong gravity pull.
Ah.
Well, I talked about, the outskirts. I've talked about what's underneath. But now, what's inside?
So
But you'll
ominous.
Huh?
So ominous.
So ominous. But you're gonna have to wait for part 2.
Full of mystery. Oh, come on.
Oh, the cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger.
Always the cliffhangers, man. I get those from books. We don't need it from our podcast, too.
Well, okay. It's mostly to save my own ass, because I edit. And editing, like, 2 hours worth of audio is not fun.
Oh, no. I can imagine.
So having it broken up into chunks is a lot better for my mental health.
And this is why I don't do the auto editing stuff. No.
Yes. Yeah, because if doing this podcast has taught me anything, it's that I understand why people go to college for audio editing and why people pay so much money to have an audio editor. Because lordy lord, some of these buttons, you've been using Audacity now for like 3 months?
Yep.
I still couldn't tell you what half of the buttons do. Like, I use, I think, like 6 of them.
Fair enough.
And that's all I got.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's all I got, guys.
That's all I can do. So yeah.
So this wraps up the first part of this story.
Yay.
So
My
interesting.
theory.
Your theories.
I have to give it a shout out to my mom, though, because she did help me put together some of this research, and she did all the works cited and stuff. That was fantastic. Thank you, mother. Thank you, mother.
Thank you, mama.
Thank you, mother.
All right. Well, if you've got any personal stories or just any stories you would like for us to cover, go ahead and email us at investigatingwithus@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you folks. If you thought this theory was interesting, share it with your mother.
Share it with your mother.
Just share it with your mother, guys.
Yeah, give my mom a shout out. You can send it to your mother.
Or you could send it to your theater friends.
Your theater
Your
friends.
theater friends.
Yeah. Send it to someone or comment. Let us know what you think, because I gotta know if I'm onto something here. Like, I want to know. I want to know. Can you show me?
We're gonna get copyrighted, guys. Can't do that.
Well, that's why we only did that.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. But don't go too far, guys, because we'll catch you in the next investigation. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Quote-unquote hotbed of abolitionism. I can read that word in my head. I cannot say it. Abolitionism?
There you go. That's what it is.
So a not so innocent spirit, just in a spear, the currently empty cemetery. Jesus Christ.
Did you hear the vibration of my phone going off? You might need to restate that last
don't
sentence,
think
because
so,
I didn't
but-
realize I didn't have it on silent. I had it on my brain. I heard it go ring ring.
Oh,
So
I don't think so, but
yeah.
I don't.
You might need to
Some reachers.
some reachers.
Some
There are
reachers.
some reachers, guys.
I was so confident too.